Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Devon. Before we get into this video, man, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload. Without further ado, let's get up into it. All right, man. So as y'all see the title, it's been a while since I did one. If you follow me on YouTube, well, of course you do if you subscribe to me. But if you got your notifications on, you'll know that I am going to be posting a story time. So if you're here, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Noti gang. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out gang gang. But make sure y'all sit back, chill, take a pee break, pause the video, get you some popcorn, because you know how I do. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get up into it. So let's see. Where we at? This was back in 2016, I want to say, because I was back in Texas still. So this is when I was working at this lab. I was working at this lab overnight. You know what I'm saying? All it was is basically like, you know, you get your drug testing, you know, you got your your drug test, your urine sample. Sometimes you got stool specimens, you know what I mean? It's like little specimens and shit that you would get, you know, that you would go to the doctor's office and do. But when they send the stuff over, they send the specimens over, it comes through our lab and we got to label it, send it down the conveyor belt, let them test it and do what they got to do. So that's where I worked at. So this is when I was back in Texas before I moved to Georgia. So when I was there, you know, I kind of had this little phase where I was really kind of like to myself, like I was trying to do everything by my lonely, you know what I mean? So that's the type of shit that I was on. So I called myself, you know, doing this whole night shift thing because, you know, my parents swore up and down that I really wasn't that social, you know what I'm saying? Because majority of the time what they would think, quote unquote, that, you know, they just see me playing a video game all the time. And that just really wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, anytime they saw me playing the game, like it was literally just because I just cut it on. The majority of the day I'm off doing other stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not really like open and vocal about the stuff that I do. So as a result, it kind of just seems that all I know is video games and I don't really know how to communicate with people in the outside world, which is a complete lie. You know what I mean? So you know, I call myself trying to be, you know, more open and more social when I'm doing this overnight job. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever had a overnight job, or if you're going to have an overnight job, to people who've had one, you know how the overnight shit goes. Okay, to the people who want an overnight job, just understand what I'm about to tell you in this story time. All right, it's a bunch of fucking drama. All right, let me just tell you that. Let me reiterate. It is a lot of drama that goes on in that fucking shit overnight, especially where I was at. So I was working there, and when I first started working there, mind you, I never worked I'll take that back. I've done overnight shifts, but I did that as like a temp service. You know what I mean? I did like a temp job that was overnight. So that wasn't really my first rodeo doing an overnight position. But I filled out the application, did the interview, whatever. They decided to bring me on. So first night working overnight, not gonna lie to you, man. I remember there was like this the supervisor, her name was Miss Regina, sweetest lady I've ever met. And she was the supervisor for us, right? And I was on this training line because it was like when you walk into the lab, there's like 4 different lines. No, I'm lying. It's like between 4 or 5 different lines. So the first line that you see when you first walk in there, that's a training line. The line right next to you, that's the actual main line. And then you have another line across from that one, that's 3. Then you have another one across from that one, that's 4. And then you have the 5th one where it's like special functions or some shit like that, right? So they had these 2 functions. There was like mini and EOE and all kinds of shit. I'll just say this: EOE was the easiest shit to do, so I stuck with that. You know what I mean? It was less waiting around for extra shit to come around. You just get it, you got it, get it, and go. That's all you had to do. So I mean, of course, you know, you had to, you know, make sure the name and stuff matched and all that good stuff. But anyway, so I'm on the training line, like I say, the first few weeks that I'm there, right? So I'm on the training line, and where I was sitting at, you know, I'm inside of a lab, so the supervisors have their cubicles that they sit at. So where I was sitting at, the window to the cubicle, the supervisor can see me. Like she can look up and literally look at me right in my eyes if she wanted to. Like that's where I was sitting at. So I wasn't free to do shit. I couldn't goof around if I couldn't goof around if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So So I'm sitting there, and I remember I'm at the computer, I'm doing this stuff or whatever, and of course the trainer is walking up and down the line. Which the trainer, I had no idea. I don't want to blow his spot up because he's doing his thing right now. But come to find out that he's actually a big time YouTube. Not I say big time. Well, he's bigger than me as far as YouTube goes, and he streams. Had no idea that this dude actually had no idea that this guy actually was a streamer or whatever, because I call myself trying to be low key with the whole YouTubing thing. But come to find out, I don't know if anybody know who Blackbuster Critic is, but come to find out, I was working with him. I had no fucking idea, right? Like I said, I'm not going to air out all his personal business and shit like that, but that's just that was kind of weird, you know what I mean? So I haven't spoke to him in a while. He's doing his thing, living his life or whatever, working and stuff like that. So so I thought that was kind of cool. I'll figure that out later once we start like kind of conversing amongst one another. Off on a tangent, back to the story. So so I was sitting at the computer, and when I was sitting there, I remember I had the I think it was the papers in my hand or something. I forgot what I had in my hand. All I know is I was looking at the computer and my head just dropped. And then next thing I popped back up, and I was like, oh shit, did anybody see me? Then I looked right, looked left. When I looked to my left, supervisor was looking me right in my face. I couldn't even look her in the eyes. I was just like, I just shook my head. She was like, Justin, you all right? And she had like this little country accent. It was a sweet accent though. She's like, you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry, Miss Regina. She's like, no, don't worry about it, baby. If you gotta go, get some caffeine or something like that, just let one of us know. We don't want you falling asleep in here. So I was like, all right, cool. So so she was cool about that or whatever. She understood. Now, honestly, when I first started working there, the class that I was in there with, I say it was maybe 9, maybe 10 of us. But before I left, by the time I left, it was like 2 of us left, maybe 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it was about probably 2 or 3 of us left. And I think I was probably the last one that left before I moved to Georgia. So fast forward to all of that, right? So eventually, I ended up getting on to the actual like work line, right? So I'm on the line, and they asked me what function do I want to do. So I did what I felt was the easiest function to do. So I picked that one, and they put me on the line to set me down or whatever. So I started kind of reading the room, figuring out who was who or whatever. And the crazy thing about it was, which I don't really talk to her no more. This is not who the story's about. I don't really talk to her no more. You know what I mean? For whatever fucking reasons. But the people who they told me to watch out for, that same person, I was on the training line, and I remember I used to raise my hand if I had a question about something instead of turning around and yelling the trainer's name. So I would turn around and raise my hand or whatever. And the lady, very nice lady at the time, she had walked by. She's like, "Put your hand down," just being funny, being goofy or whatever. So I was like, I wonder who that is. You know what I'm saying? So we got the rapping, and that's how it happened. So she was my little buddy when I was there. People swore up and down she was a troublemaker, but they used to fuck with her all the time. But anyway, so back on the line, right? So I'm actually on the line. I'm working, and I'm reading the room trying to figure out who was who, right? So when you're working overnight, especially in a lab like that, it's predominantly women in there. Now, there's nothing wrong with being around women, as you would think, right? Come to find out, that's probably the most stressful shit as a guy that you will ever be around. If you, I don't want to say you surround yourself, but if you kind of just like, unbeknownst to you, get involved into it, it's probably the most annoying shit you ever deal with. So I'm in there, and there's these guys that work in the front, and they're the ones that's putting the specimens inside the buckets where they need to go. So once they put them in buckets, they send them down the line. The conveyor belt brings our work to us. We'll pull the bucket down and then pull the specimens out, which is like maybe 20 or 30 inside of a bucket. And then that's how we get our work done throughout the day. And sometimes the shit it'd be heavy, sometimes it'd be light. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, depending on what the workload is for the day. But majority of the time, the shit was moderately heavy, but it wasn't too much that you can manage. But then you had them days where it was like back to school, so you had the work rate upticked a while. So I lost my train of thought. Okay, there we go. So basically, there's these guys in the front or whatever, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm not one of the ones where I gawk over women. You know what I mean? I'm not one of the ones that like a girl having to walk by and like, damn, she bad as a motherfucker. Damn, she got a fat ass. I wonder what that head game like, you know what I'm saying? Like that ain't like, you know what I mean? I guess because I see more to women than just that, you know what I'm saying? Unless you walk up to me and just say, hey, like, unless you're trying to put it down, like, that's all I want. You know what I mean? But other than that, I try to see past more than just that and try to like treat you with some kind of dignity. You know what I mean? But you know, not all you can treat like that. But I try to give you the benefit of the doubt. So, you know, all the time, you know, they'd be like, oh, yeah, man, she got a fat old ass and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, I'm listening to them talking like, yeah, she do, you know, but I'm not really like, hell yeah, she got a big old ass. Shit, she fuck around being my baby mama type shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's type of shit these niggas was on. So I'm up there, and at times where I needed to, like, you know, to like pull some work or whatever, they having to walk through or whatever the case is, you know, they would always, like, you know, see me talking to a female, and whether just to be say hello or like, hey, that perfume you got on smells good, or just something complimentary about them, they immediately thought I was trying to flirt every motherfucking time, every time. And it was so frustrating. It got to a point where like, it got to a point where I couldn't do shit as far as like just having a conversation, whether just a regular conversation about X, Y, and Z without somebody seeing me, and they immediately just started rumors. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from this job, is that place was a big fucking rumor mill. Every time you walked in there, your ass was talked about something. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, like they didn't really have a dress code, but of course you couldn't walk in there, you know, with tights, have your ass all out, you know what I'm saying, and have your titties showing. You couldn't do no shit like that. Or I couldn't walk in there. Guys couldn't people couldn't wear shorts because, you know, what if a specimen spills on you and, you know, that shit gets on you, contaminates you and stuff like that. That's the only reason why you can wear shorts. But everything else you were fine with, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that you wanted to wear, you could wear. So I used to just wear sweats, t-shirt, and some sneakers. That's what I used to wear, because wearing jeans and a button-up polo or not button-up polo, but a polo or a button-down, this shit was really uncomfortable. And mind you sitting down for like 8 hours. I say maybe, I don't know, of course, if you count the breaks and stuff like that, you're sitting down for a long-ass time throughout the night. So sitting in jeans and shit really ain't that comfortable. So I was like, you know what? Let me go and just dress comfortable, right? So I would have these sweatpants. I had a shit ton of sweatpants. All of them are black. But, you know, wash and dry. I wash my clothes. So, you know, make sure my hair was cut. I was always clean. You know what I'm saying? I smelled good, looked good, and felt good. So, you know, I got to a point where motherfuckers was talking about, all he keep doing is wearing the same sweatpants. Damn, do we have anything else to wear? And I'm just like, bitch, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of my motherfucking business unless you want this dick. Otherwise, get out of my business. You feel me? So eventually, you know, motherfuckers just get to talking or whatever. And there was this one guy in particular, I'll never forget him. His baby mama worked there or whatever. And I kind of got to know her too, but she was kind of, she was an asshole, you know what I mean? And like, she was one of those ones where it was like, you know, she tried to like play like she was just playing, you know, one of those ones where it's like they super rude, but they be trying to act like, oh, I'm just playing. One of them, you know what I mean? So anyway, so his baby mom's worked there, like literally right in the next apartment next to us. So, you know, this guy, like he was cool, but you couldn't really necessarily like trust what you tell around him. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you guys remember that one game where it was like, it's a line of us, right? I don't know if I remember that one game. You whisper something in somebody's ear, and it has to go from point A all the way to point B, and then at the end, that person at the end has to say what you whispered to them. Now, mind you, like the teacher knows that she told you, so you have to whisper it all the way until it gets to the end, and then the person at the end has to say what the phrase was, and if the phrase is wrong, then it's like some sort of exercise about spreading rumors. Like, you know what I'm saying? The point that they're trying to make is what one person says, it can go through so many different other people and it can be a totally different story. So, you know, it just depends on how people hear it. So anyway, so back to him. So, you know, I was not coaxed, but I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe because I was like, you know, pulled in by the fact that, like, you know, being down to earth, cool, chill. And maybe he was. Who knows? Maybe. But I didn't stick around to find out. So aside from him and the guys that were in the front, aside from them, you know, I would, you know, talk to them, chit-chatting about whatever. And then there was this one girl named Monae. Not gonna lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. Will not lie to you because I don't have shit to lie about. I had a crush on Monae. Putting it out there now. I legit had a crush on her. You know what I mean? So I can't sit here and fake the front like, oh, she was an asshole. She was this. No, like, no, I legit had a crush on her. You know what I mean? So if that might play the part in it, who fucking knows, right? So, eventually over time, I probably would have made that shit awkward. I probably did make it fucking awkward. Who knows? So, there'd be times where like you will have like some downtime at that time when it was like really wasn't no work coming in. I would, weasel my way over there to try to go talk to her or whatever. And and then at the same time, I think she would have liked me back because people swore up and down that she liked me. She was just being extra on purpose. She probably would have liked me, but she talked to the guys that were in the front because she was cool with them up there. And whenever she used to do like off the wall shit, I used to regurgitate what I saw back to them and tell them about, whatever. And they didn't really have no comment on it, but she would go talk to them, and whether it not be me or not, he might have said something and mentioned my name about me saying something about her. So that's what could have caused a turmoil from right there. So I would see her or whatever. Before then, I would see her, like, hey, speak of hey or whatever. And then it eventually got to a point where, like, I'm the type of person where, like, if I see him, like, yo, what's up? You good? You chilling? You know what I'm saying? And one time I had walked up to her and I asked her, and I was like, hey, Monae, good morning. How's it going? You all right? I don't know. I'm like, okay. All right, so I'm going to go over here and go this way. It's kind of unnecessary, but whatever. So eventually, it just got to the point where she was just like acting like a ass on purpose. You know what I mean? So eventually I kind of just like, I figured it was one of those things where she was just being extra on purpose. So I kind of just played into that. So then there'd be times where she would, she would just be extra on purpose, right? She'd be talking about motherfuckers and she'd be friends with somebody one day, then the next day she won't. And then, she'd be talking about somebody, then that same person that she was talking about them with, she'd be talking about that person to another person. So it was just a bunch of drama and bullshit, right? So this not even a cold part right here. So going a little further, right? She would do shit like where we would take break at the same time. Now, the only thing about this job, which, we got new supervisors because Mr. Gina eventually left. So we got new supervisors. Now, these two supervisors, one of them, I remember his name. His name was Eric. He was mad cool. Mad fucking cool. Mad cool. Never had a problem with him. He never had an issue with me. Whenever I seen him and talked to him, it was more or less just like off topic shit. That's all it was. You know what I mean? Never was about work. You know what I'm saying? He, if anything, like, he had a family or whatnot. So we used to always talk about sports because that's what his kids was into. We talk about that, talk about different cars in his younger days and stuff like that. Relatively young, relatively young, but he was a cool dude, mad cool. But I had another supervisor, which this is who I was under. And she was just, she was real like, fickle, you know what I'm saying? Like easily rattled type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you talk to her about something, like if you're talking to somebody about something, right? And have you ever felt the pressure of being rushed to finish what you're saying? Like that's what she would do. If I'm explaining something about myself, she would always try to butt in and like herp and try to wrap you up to get off what she got to say. And there was a time where I was in the office and she was going to do it, and Eric had to stop her and like, no, let him finish. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally had to do that one time. So that's how my supervisor was. And my supervisor was just as wrapped up into the drama as anybody else was. Right. So back to Monae, right? She would do little shit, right? Where she would do shit like we would go out the same way and come in the same way, and where she would park it, she'll park right next to the door where we come in at, right? So she had this white car or whatever at that time, right? So and mind you, everybody in this fucking place know what everybody drive, know what they pushing. Everybody know about everybody, right? Now mind you, I had a 08 2008. I had a 08 2000. I'm saying 08 2008. One take. I'm going through this shit all the way one through. I had a 08 Dodge Charger. It wasn't an RT. It was just a regular V6. That's the one I had all the fucking problems with. Then eventually I got rid of that and I actually got a 17 Dodge Challenger RT. That's what I got. So eventually, people would see me pulling up in that car. Then they saw me pulling up in the Challenger. All it takes is one person. And one person started the fucking wildfire, and everybody was like, "Oh, Justin, heard you got a new car. Justin got a new car." Everybody talking shop about it. So later for them. So anyway, so there'd be times where we would come in and come out the same way, and we would go to break almost at the same time. If she didn't go to break 5 minutes before, or no, she would go to break before me. And then whenever she came back to break, I would go to break. So there'd be times where she might go to break with me. Now, the door we come in and out of, it's one way in and one way out. So what she would do is sometimes we open the door because you have the BP badge in, she'll come in or whatever, or she might go out the same way as me. And instead of just holding the door, she'll just open the door and just let that shit swing back. You know what I'm saying? And she did that shit so many fucking times. I was so close to saying something to her and like chewing her the fuck out, but I was like, you know what? Let me just kill him with kindness. That was the only thing that I was more focused on, was just killing him with kindness. That was it. So didn't really pay no mind, just trying to keep the peace or whatever. But there'd be times where she would act like an asshole on purpose, right? And, she wouldn't hold the door open for me or whatever. So I'll be coming in and she'll be coming in. So whenever I come in first, I'll hold the door open so she can come in. And she didn't do it on purpose. She didn't mean to. She'll be like, "Thank you." And I'm like, "You're welcome." And I'll keep on moving. She knows she didn't mean to say that shit, or she wasn't trying to. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. So eventually, it got worse over time. It just got bad. You know what I mean? So, talking to the fellas up there, thought my word was safe. They probably went back and regurgitated some shit that I said. You know what I mean? Because, that's just how I felt. Because, when somebody is treating you like shit in return, you are trying to figure out like, yo, like, why are they acting like that towards me? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm asking the same exact question I'm asking y'all to them, and like, oh, I don't know why she act like she could be like that sometime, bro. I don't know, man. And some people saying, nah, she just act like that just to act like that. She really like you low key. Like, I can't fucking tell. I can't tell. So, time goes on or whatever, and it just got bad. You know what I mean? She just like, she was talking about, she was reporting me to my supervisor, telling them that I was harassing her. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I didn't even say nothing to you. All I just asked was you okay, and that's it. Like, checking on your well-being, is that a crime? You know what I mean? So it got so bad to the point where like I tried to just stay away from her. You know what I mean? Eventually this other lady that was in there, she's like another grandmother to me, at least in there. So she was which I don't speak to her either, but she was real cool. She was like another grandmother in there. So she's always giving me the inside scoop about what's going on. So I remember it just got real bad. So I quit fucking talking to her. And eventually I ended up calling her Lucielle. That's where, if you go back and listen to one of my songs, that's why you hear the name Lucielle, right? That was who I was referring to. So anyway, so it got bad. Eventually I just quit talking to her or whatever. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever, fuck you. So I had a dream one time, and the dream entailed me and her, and we were at Quest. There's a bunch of other people, but you know how you dream, you can only make out certain people in the dream. Me and her was the only two people I could make out. Everybody else was just like blurs, but they were there. So, the dream, it was just a regular day or whatever. And, I remember the car she drove, because like I said, everybody knows everybody's car. So I remember the car she drove, and then maybe she got a different car now, but she left or whatever. She left, tell everybody bye or whatever. Most time when everybody leaving, they'll tell everybody bye or whatever. She would purposefully skip over me. Just to be an asshole on purpose. So she would leave, she left or whatever, and then I was leaving right behind her, or maybe 10, 15 minutes afterwards. So I'm leaving, and I got in my car, I'm leaving. This is all in the dream. And as I'm leaving, I see smoke and shit. I see smoke, cars gathering around. I'm like, what the fuck going on? And I see her car turned on its side or whatever. So I'm like, oh shit. So I see her car. So I go and pull over, whatever, to see if I can help her. And I pull out of the car, whatever. I stayed by her side and until the ambulance came. And the thing about this dream, which this is why I kind of like I stuck to this dream so hard, was because it was one of those lucid dreams where I was like, you kind of wake up in a cold sweat. It's like one of those ones where it's like it's so real you would have thought that shit happened for real. You know what I mean? It's like one of those ones where it's like you gotta like check yourself, make sure all your surroundings are good type dream, you know? So back to the dream. So I stayed with her. Ambulance came, picked her up, and took her to the hospital or whatever. So I know what hospital it took her to. So I went home, changed clothes, and I went to go see if I can go visit or whatever. Um, so I went up there. They told me the room. Went up to the room or whatever. And mind you, this is all a dream. Went up there, seen her. I just broke down. Like in my dream, I broke down in tears because I was just like, as hard as we beefing right now, if something really happened to you, if I didn't get a chance to at least make my peace, you know what I'm saying? I would be, fucked up for the rest of my life because I'm not the rest of my life, but I'll be fucked up for the time being because I'm over here not even hating, but I'm just saying not like I'm disliking you so hard to the point where like I don't even want to see you. And then like the last time I finally do see you, that's the last thing I remember of you. If we were beefing, I ain't get a chance to say my piece. You know what I mean? And you're gone forever. So I open up the door. She's asleep, or so I thought, or whatever. So I'm standing by her bed. So I'm telling her I'm sorry. I got tears going down my face. So she grabs my hand, clutches it, and she looks me in my face, and she's about to say something, but I wake up out of the dream. I'm like, shit. So I woke up, shirt soaked from sweat or whatever. So I remember what her Instagram was, and that's only because I'll touch my mic. I only remember her Instagram because at that time she was friends with this one lady that I was cool with, but she turned to be a fucking weirdo too. But I remember her though, so I remember her Instagram. So what I did was, since I didn't have her fucking number, what I did was I put this long ass paragraph about the dream I had, how I felt about her, you know what I mean? And it wasn't meant to be taken as to where like a weird obsession, but it was just I wanted to share the dream that I had of her and lights in the likes that she would feel where I'm coming from. And even if she don't fuck with me, she understand where my heart is, right? Wrong. So when I go in there and I tell her the exact dream that I had, and I was like, look, listen, I know we don't fuck with each other like that. You might not like me. I whatever. I can't say the same. All I got to say is, I apologize if you heard anything that somebody might have said about me or about you. You know what I'm saying? I was just completely out of character. The emotions got the best of me. Whatever the case is, I'm just covering all bases. Even if she didn't hear anything, I'm just covering all bases. So I was like, look, that dream was like, it was real surreal to me. You know what I mean? It had me thinking about a lot of things. So I just want to make sure that, hey, there's no love. I mean, there's no hate on my end. It's all love and peace on this end. Whatever the case may be, I have no malicious intent or ill-gotten feelings towards you at all. You know what I mean? So I'm paraphrasing. So I sent that to her DM or whatever. Didn't really think about it. So that was just me pretty much just, cleansing my conscience. Next thing I know, I come to work the next night, and the lady who I told you just gave me all the inside scoop, she pulls me to the side and she says, hey, you might want to stay off the internet for a little while. I was like, why? This bitch literally just took the DM that I sent her and screenshotted it and showed it to the entire floor. What I said and put a narrative behind it, all kinds of shit. So for like maybe a week or so, or until another rumor got started, they had fucking all eyes on me. Supervisor, the one supervisor I was under, she got involved. It wasn't really nothing that bad, but she threatened to report me to my supervisor for harassment. That's how bad shit got. When she said that shit, I said, okay, it's fuck you now for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's when it's like, you're trying to show somebody a side of yourself that you want them to understand that, hey, look, listen, I have no malicious intent. This is, what happened. And you would think that they would have the same kind of, I guess, heart, I guess. You would think so, but nah, like that shit was very far in between. So she was talking about threatening to deport me to HR and my supervisor for harassment, all kinds of shit. So I was like, okay, cool. So fuck you. So I was like, all right, whatever. So at that point, I was just wasn't fucking with her all together. You know what I mean? So then it got to a point where eventually it was just like, I just didn't fuck with her at all. Like if somebody, mentioned her in the same breath as me, I made sure to keep me out of that shit. You know what I mean? If she ever came around and tried to, speak and I was around, I'll just walk off. I don't want nothing to do with you. You are cancer to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nothing to do with you at all whatsoever. So it got so bad, like I said earlier in the story, that I called her Lucielle. And how Kendrick Lamar calls the devil Lucy. So I decided to call her Lucielle, the female version of a devil. You know what I mean? So the moral of that story is, man, I don't fuck with people who don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and reciprocate this energy that you can't show me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm giving you this energy, which I hate fucking saying it because people ran that word to the ground, but if you can't reciprocate that and all you do is give me shit in return, like how else am I supposed to react? You know what I mean? I'm very respectful, down to earth. I'm chill, laid back. If you're cool, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna sit there and treat me like shit in return, you know what I mean? Then I can't fuck with that. I'm not even gonna pretend that, I fuck with you straight up. You know what I mean? Just to save face and to try to bring the peace. Fuck all that, man. If you're not fucking with me, then I can't fuck with you, man. I'm gonna exit stage left. That's just what it is. So, I know I said the moral of the story, but even after all that shit was done, right? So at the end, after I left, after I left the place and I left Texas and I moved to Georgia or whatever, mind you, I was still in communication with a few people that I used to work there with. That one lady in particular, which I don't talk to no more, not the one who's giving me the inside scoop, but the other one who they try to label as a troublemaker. And there's more to that job that I was at too. There's more to that place, but I'm gonna say that for another story time. So what was I gonna say? So I remember her Instagram, right? So I remember her Instagram, and I was like, you know what? Maybe after all this time, maybe she's had a change of heart. Maybe she was just doing that just to be a hard ass because of people in there in the job, and she really, she thinks I'm okay. This is one of those ones where like they try to be rude on purpose just to say that, oh, I don't like you like that, but then low key like they kind of fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was one of those things. So I told the lady, and I said, look, I still remember her Instagram. I'm gonna follow her and see if she see if she's like still on that same time, right? So she was like, because I used to tell her all this. I used to tell her all the time about the shit she used to do, right? So I used to tell all those stories and shit because nobody really fucked with her except me. You know what I mean? She didn't talk to nobody else. The only person she really talked to was me. So so aside from that, right? She had what did she do? So I found her Instagram, so I not add her, but I follow her, right? When I tell you no more than 3 minutes went by, probably 2, maybe 1.5 minutes went by, and next thing I know, her fucking shit went blank. Her page went blank because I went back to go look, right? Or matter of fact, when I closed Instagram and went back in, the follow button wasn't blue anymore because her page ain't private. Her follow button wasn't blue no more. So I was like, what the fuck? So I keep clicking it and it goes from following to follow, following to follow, following to follow. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look, and next thing I know, the shit just went blank. Come to find out the bitch blocked me. So I was like, okay. Well, I guess some things don't change, huh? And then I told the girl, I said, look, listen, she blocked me on Instagram, so I mean, I guess it's fuck you for life then. It is what it is. Now, real quick, y'all, I forgot to throw this part in the story. So after I left, the lady that was getting on the inside scoop and then labeled a troublemaker, she was still there. And come to find out, after I left, Monae actually got fired for either work performance, either that, or somewhere along the lines of attendance. I don't really know. I'm not the one to brag or try to rub in people's face, but it's kind of what you get. All right, back to the story. If anybody knows Monae, and anybody knows it personally, if you know who she is, you know who she is. If you work with me, where I'm talking about. Anybody who knows Monae, a.k.a. Lucielle, I don't give a flying fuck if y'all are offended. If she's offended, I don't give a fuck. Understand this. When you treat somebody like shit for the remainder of the time that they're there, and you obviously see that they're trying to make strides to be like, cordial with you, even then, if you don't fuck with me, or if I don't fuck with somebody, I'm not finna go out of my way to make it like a hellish event for you to even talk to me or just be around me. Like, we can be in the same area and coexist and not have to be nasty to each other. But if you want to treat me like shit all fucking day long, all that respectful shit, all that let's be respectful, that shit is out the window. You know what I'm saying? It's really fuck you at that point. You know what I mean? I can't respect somebody who don't respect me. So it's like, fuck you. Like, I don't have nothing to say to you. So if anybody knows Monae and y'all know who I'm talking about, anybody who worked with me, y'all know, I don't give a fuck if she sees it and she gets offended. I don't give a fuck who knows her and they will report this back to her and say that, oh, this is what he said. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Don't come talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. We ain't cool. Like, we not good. You understand what I'm saying? We can't have no conversation. Ain't no none of that. That shit is dead, bro. You're not finna keep disrespecting me or just being on some sneaky slide shit and act like I'm just gonna let it slide. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? If that's type of shit you want, stay the fuck away from me. I ain't got shit to say to you. Straight up and down. So, Monae, if you seeing this, fuck you, and that's just what it is. Ain't no turning that around. But hopefully y'all enjoyed the story time, man. Make sure to like button, comment, subscribe. If you still here, I fucks with you. That's why you day one. You know what I'm saying? I had this story time in a while, man. It feels really good. I'm gonna start doing more of these. I've been kind of slacking, not gonna lie to you. But yeah, man. Hopefully y'all enjoy it, man. Make sure to like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's your boy Jay Devon, and I'm signing out. Peace.